What's up, book besties?
Hey!
Welcome back to another episode of
We're Booked.
Ew.
Oh, funny story. My sister, shout out Susanna, she's a big fan. She sent, I gotta show this to you. She sent me a video of her doing the introduction. And she was like, girl, this is a tongue twister. A tongue twister. And I was like, well, that's why we split it up.
Wait, which part?
Our intro.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Kaitlin, and I'm Sophia.
Oh.
And this is, what is our intro? I forgot our intro. Anyways, she did the whole thing by herself, and she was like, this is such a tongue twister.
It's hard.
And I was like, well, I don't say the whole thing.
Yeah, we split it up.
Anyways, I was like, I appreciate that.
Well, that's why we have the intro.
The effort into that.
Wow.
It was great.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
Yep.
Happy March.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to see you guys, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watching us on YouTube. Did you guys know we're on YouTube?
You better.
We are on YouTube.
And you get to see all the silly shenanigans.
Yeah, we're silly.
Visual.
Also, follow us on TikTok. We're hilarious.
There's so much that goes down on TikTok.
Especially in the comment section.
Oh my gosh, people be wildin'.
They're funny.
It's great.
They're funny. Well,
Yeah.
Welcome back. We missed you. We're going to talk about some funny stuff today. So get a coffee, treat, and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're going to talk about book Icks. Ick, if you're new here or new to the Gen Z slang, ick means gross. Like the sound.
I think the sound of the word is like, when some words just have the emotion or like the meaning.
Yeah.
It's like,
Ick.
it's an ick. Like, ugh,
Yeah.
So
We love books over here, but there are some things that we really don't like. Sophia, can you give me a few that
okay.
just kind of make your skin crawl? It could be a cringe or an ick.
Yeah. I picked one. I put 3 down that I'll give you. One is something in books, and then 2 are things about books.
Okay.
The first one that I just like, I do not like in books, reading books, is when like either really modern slang is used or there's like references to social media apps.
That was literally mine.
Okay.
One of mine.
Yeah.
It's not.
So like when somebody mentions TikTok in a book, I'm like, no. Like I can't do that. Or when somebody like tries to use, the thing with like slang, especially nowadays, it's constantly shifting. I feel like every couple months there's something is out and a new thing is in.
Do you know? Hold on. Speaking of slang.
Okay.
What is the Gen Z equivalent to YOLO?
I don't know. I mean,
Do it for the plot.
but I feel like even that's, I've not even heard that, I feel like in a couple years. Like, I feel like I heard that like 2 years ago.
That's new.
I remember hearing like
8th graders are saying that.
No, because you know why? Or you know why I remember it? Do it for the Vine. So.
Rip Vine.
I know.
We miss you a lot.
Some of my favorite YouTubers came from being Viners, which I think is really funny.
Yeah, there's so many.
They all like transitioned over. But yeah. But like, yeah, modern slang, because by the time the book gets published, slang has moved on.
Yeah.
So it dates the book very heavily.
I'll give an example.
Okay, please.
No, this is not technically slang, but they're cuss words. Modern cuss words.
No. You gotta... No.
But let me give you an example of a book that has some modern cuss words. And every time it came up, I just wanted to throw the book.
Okay.
Fourth Wing.
Yeah. No.
The thing with fantasy is that you have to be very picky about when you're going to be using like modern cuss words.
Certain words, yeah.
Y'all, I personally, I did not.
Yeah. Because you're in like a fantasy world. You want to just like, you don't want those words in a world where you're like, it's made up.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah. So I agree.
Ooh,
I agree. Give me some more of yours, and then I'll give you some of
my
mine.
other 2 are things that are like on books.
On
like a
books,
physical thing. So one that I just despise is like when they put the stickers on books that you can't remove, like that you can't take off. So it's like, the As Seen on Netflix, but it's on the book cover.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you do that? Like, and going along with that might add on to that is when they turn the cover of the book into the movie like poster cover.
Yeah, that's unnecessary.
Very few times do I think it's a good cover. Like with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, when they did the movie cover, it was really pretty because it was just like the design.
Yeah.
But like Shadow and Bone, for example, like when they turned that into the movie cover, it's just the actors on the front. I'm like, I don't like it. So, but my main thing with that is like when they put a sticker on that you just can't remove, or like when it's Reese's Book Club. I'm like, are you serious?
Lol. I know you can remove the sticker, but like it's hard to remove the Target 20% off sticker.
I don't stick. Or then you get like the residue. You get like the sticker residue.
Yeah, so then you might as well just leave it.
I know, but then
and then it's like
yeah.
Then everybody knows you got it on a deal. That's fine.
Okay, and then the last one I'll throw at you is this is probably just a me thing, but I don't like shiny book covers. I like the matte feel to book covers or like neutral. But there are some book covers on like that are paperback and they're like shiny texture.
On paperback.
And I don't, but I'm a huge texture like girl, like certain textures just do not work for me. And so I cannot do like the shiny feel. Like I have to have like a matte feel to a book. And so there are some books that I'm just like, oh, I don't want to own that.
What do you think about these are some of my favorite matte covers, but all the Throne of Glass new.
I love those.
They're so
floppy.
nice.
They're so floppy. They feel great.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, and when I mean matte covers, I mean those, and also like Emily Henry's.
Oh my!
covers,
I was about to say, yeah,
the matte feeling of those. In terms of a shiny cover, I'll throw at you is actually again back to Shadow and Bone. The traditional color covers. So not the movie ones, but the like traditional covers, they're like shiny and like foily, and it's like I own them, but I don't like them.
Right.
So I don't know. But again, like this is me being very picky. I just can't do like I think it's the texture for me.
Yeah, I feel that.
But, yeah,
I feel that.
Those are the three that are like I could think of in the moment, but
I found a few that we should just like. I found a few that I don't like, and then a few that maybe we could just like talk about.
Okay.
People on covers. Now it depends. I'm talking like how you didn't like the actors on was it Shadow and Bone you said?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The sounds.
Ballad of Songbird and Snakes was nice. Yep. Here's the thing. The UK cover of Divine Rivals y'all have to look it up. It's so beautiful.
It's beautiful.
There's 2 cartoon versions of Iris and Roman. It's really nice. It's beautiful. Whoever did that is great. I just there's an era of like Harry Potter when Harry Potter was drawn, and there's some of him I don't like. So it also kind of like messes with how I imagine the characters. Like I want to also be able to think about what they look like, and then having a character already on there, I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know if you needed to do that.
Right.
Like there's so many other ways. I don't know.
How do you feel about? I guess I think I know what your answer is going to be to this, but like you were saying, like movie characters on the covers you definitely don't like. But what about just like an actual person? So like how sometimes there's stylistic choices to use a real person on a cover. Still a no for you, or
Well, I mean, like something like Book Lovers, like those kinds of cartoons are enough for me to be like, oh, that's a dude and a girl and whatever. Like, okay, that's enough for me. And it's a little more abstract that it still allows me to imagine. But if you give me too much, I'm like,
yeah, I get it. I feel that. Yeah, I definitely would not like people on the cover. If it's like a stylistic choice, like maybe. But for the most part,
What did you think about the old Throne of Glass cover?
I kind of like them, actually.
Really?
And I actually found the first one, the OG, in a thrift store recently.
Did you get it?
Bought it. I did.
How much was it?
$2.
Because I feel like I've seen them on eBay and they're like mad expensive.
I found it for $2.
Yeah.
So now I own.
That's awesome.
Now I own the matte cover we've talked about.
It scares me, though.
The one you gave me.
Oh, right.
And then now I have the OG cover.
Yeah, I gave Sophia for Christmas a special edition.
They're a little intense because it is just her on the cover in every sort of,
And she has the cloak on her. You know what I mean? Like
it's kind of cool though. I don't mind it. I will say, but also I think because now I've read the entire series, I'm kind of like, oh, it's kind of cool. Is it the kind of cover I would take out in public? No. But like, it's kind of cool.
Why not?
I don't know.
Why would you take it in public?
I mean, it is a little intense.
It's a little.
But I think to like have, especially loving the series and like knowing that they don't print those covers anymore, it's like, okay, that's kind of cool.
That's true. I feel that. Yeah. Okay. What do you think about long chapters?
How long are we talking?
Long. Definitely more than 25 minutes of a chapter.
Not ideal. Not ideal. But I also, I say this, but I also, like, don't know, like, I'm very indecisive about this. Sometimes I don't mind stopping in the middle of a chapter if I'm just, like, done at that moment. But there's other times that I'm like, oh, I'll just get to the end of the chapter.
Yeah.
So, like, if it is a long chapter, I would just be like, I'm just done reading right now. Like, say I'm falling asleep or something.
Yeah.
But I think overall, why? Like,
yeah.
Because I also feel like sometimes you're reading, you know, a chapter and you're like, oh, I can see where this ends now. And so you turn the page thinking that that's the end of the chapter and it's not. And you're like, oh. Yeah. So I feel like probably a no for me, but it's not like a top 5 ick.
Okay.
You know?
I think I can just, like, I can say it's okay, but, like, I just, because Lynn Painter does a great job of it in The Do-Over, where, like, the first 10 chapters were about 6 minutes to read on a Kindle. Then there was a huge chunk that was almost 30 minutes to read.
Whoa.
It was only one chapter, but I saw why it was important to have something big happen, and there was a lot happening, and I see why she didn't want to, like, chop it up.
Okay.
But I think if we're talking, like, thriller has to be rather short, because a lot of things are going to happen, and, like, you have to have a beat at the very end of the chapter to get you into the next one. But, like, unless it's very important, I don't know always if you have to go over 20 minutes of reading a chapter. So what would that be? Like, over 5,000 words. Because I think it's maybe like 12 to 15 minutes would be about 1,500 to 3,000 words for a chapter, which is like normal. And shorter than that would be about 800, 1,000 words. Yeah. So it's like, that's a lot of words, y'all. Exactly. So it has to be worth it to me.
I think you do, especially like we were saying with thrillers, like you have to have something at the end of the chapter to make you either want to come back to the book later if you have to put it down, or if you are really just able to sit and read, like, want you to continue. Like, you know. So if it's too long of a chapter, then you're going to be like, I just want to put the book down, you know?
Yeah. That's how I feel.
Ooh, definitely an interesting one.
What do you think about I guess it's a trope, the trope of absent parents?
It feels very Disney.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It feels very, like, I mean, it can definitely, if written well, can be a push for the character to, like, start their character journey.
Sure.
Right? But, like, I guess, like, it's not going to be something that I'm going to be like, I'm absolutely not reading the book for this, but it's not going to be something that I'm like, oh, I want to read the book because, you know, that's something that I enjoy. Like, no, like,
yeah. I think
know.
once I find out, like, oh, yeah, like, okay, example, Throne of Glass, parents of Selena, not present, absent parents. That's fine because it's important for the plot.
Yes.
Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid has parents all around it, and I feel like it helps us inform more about the character, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like have them in. I mean, I don't know, like, just for a second at least. But, like, you know, then if you're telling a story about a senior citizen, you know, like do we necessarily need the parents? I don't know. But I read a lot of, like, coming into adulthood characters. So I would like to see some sort of guardian in the book. Yeah. Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
What do you think about trauma dumping?
Don't love it. I mean, again, I think, like, you know, every character goes through some sort of character development, which means something must have happened to them either in the past or we're reading about it happening currently. But, like, I mean, okay, do I love some books that make me feel sad? Sure. I love to cry at a good book. But, like, I'm not going to read a book just for a ton of, like, the character goes through this and they go through this again and then there's this that happens and then there's, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, give them a break, you know? Yeah. So, maybe a no. Okay, for example, a book that I really don't want to read and I don't think I'll ever pick up is A Little Life.
Really?
I don't think I want to read it because all I've heard is that it is just basically trauma. Like, the entire book. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to read that, I think. Like, I don't know.
That's what I was thinking about when I thought of trauma dumping.
Yeah. I don't think I want to pick it up. Like, if that's all it is. Somebody would have to tell me that there's more to that book than that. You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's mostly a no for me, I think.
Yeah. We've talked about tropes on this podcast before, but bringing it up again, the cheating trope.
No.
That's just...
I can't do it.
I don't get it.
I don't like it. I don't think it works. Like, I think that's too... I don't want to say it's too complex of an issue, because at the end of the day, it's not. Like, cheating is, kind of black and white for the most part.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can't put a cheating trope in and then have it resolved at the end of the book. That's too short of a time.
Because your character needs to grow. When did they grow?
Yeah.
They just fell.
Right. If there's going to be if the author wants to put redemption in the story, it's too short of a time. Unless you're going to write an 800-page romance. I'm like, I'm not reading an 800-page romance. Like, I'm not doing that. Fantasy, sure, but
what is the Lucy score?
They're
things we
long,
never.
Apparently,
they're 600 pages and over. Why?
I own the first one. I think I'm gonna donate it to Strand or sell it to Strand.
Why?
I don't think I'm ever gonna buy it.
And
or
people
buy it.
Here's another ick is like, this is I might be annoying to some people right now, but like, I don't like the covers.
Oh, me
at
neither.
all. I'm like, okay, pink, blue, purple. People are like, it's so beautiful on my shelf.
I think it's the pastel covers. Like, I think people are like
get some book lovers. I don't know.
Yeah, people like pastel. So I'm like, okay, they're not my least favorite book covers of all time. That could be a whole nother conversation about
book covers.
But I don't know. I get it. Too long for romance.
Yeah.
Too long.
Yeah. I mean, I think like trauma dumping, you're gonna either get people who want to read it because they want to like just cry, have a good cry, and then you're gonna have people read it and like not like the trauma dumping. I'm just like, I feel when I hear that a book is reviewed that way, because then I'm like, do I want to like try it, because it might be a great book, but I just like the things I've heard.
I think that going into a book knowing it's a trauma dump, basically, I'm kind of like, I think what I'm going to say is a no. If I'm reading a book or I'm reading a series and I'm really connected to the characters, and then say something happens, or like multiple things happen to a character you love, you feel for them. And I actually don't mind that then, because I'm like, you experience that with them in a sense. And then, but you've already invested in the character. You're not like going into a book being like, okay, this character's going to go through a lot. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's also the difference for me.
Yeah. I feel that.
So.
Wow, we got through those quite quickly. Wow, that's funny. I'm trying to think. Oh, something else I don't like. This is not an ick, but it's just like, it's almost an ick. When I get a book and I'm like, okay, it's ending, but then there's like this chunk left. Aside acknowledgements, I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
Then it's a preview to the next book. It's that one chapter. Yeah. And then I'm done with that, and there's 5 or 6 more pages of ads. And I'm like, I get it. I get the marketing, but we have TikTok, we have Instagram now. I don't think we have to be doing that.
Yeah. Okay, can we pivot with more icks that go beyond the books themselves?
Oh, okay.
Because you and I have had this conversation, and people might disagree with me, and that's fine. I have some icks when it comes to like the way to be a content creator on TikTok, especially if you are. We love authors here. We love indie authors. Like, I love that you guys are writing books. I support you fully in that. Yeah. But there are certain ways that authors try to promote their books that instantly I want to run the other direction.
Sophia and I have talked about this.
I think that because you are writing a book.
Yeah.
And if anybody didn't know, Kaitlin is writing a book.
I'm writing a YA fantasy.
It's so exciting.
Oh gosh, I've been telling a lot of people now they're going to want to read it.
But you and I have talked about okay, how does one use like a platform for promotion? Yeah. Right? Because I think you and I, as like just Booktok creators, reviewing books, talking about books, doing like cozy videos, we're not promoting anything. We're just chilling. Yeah. Right? We're just chilling. There is a space on TikTok, Booktok specifically, for promotion. Yes. But it can either be really well done and make me want to read the book you're promoting, or the art that you're making, or the merch that you're making, right? And then there's the ways that I'm like, please never do that again. Like, I just want to run the other direction. And so, for example, like when an author uses, if you like this book and this book and this book and this book, you should read my book, because it's just like, hey, I know that. So for example, like, this is very broad. If you like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, Hunger Games, and Divergent, you're going to love my book. And I'm like, so you're just copying the story.
I'll tell you someone who did it really well, though, is Lauren Roberts, who wrote Powerless. She said, if my book is if Hunger Games and Red Queen had a baby, this would be their baby that does not look like them at all. And it's like, wait, what is that? Wait, I like those.
It's an interesting way to phrase it, which I think does get people interested in it.
Yeah.
But it's if people do that too much, or like, sometimes I'll go to a creator's page, an author's page, and it's the same video over and over again, like just slightly different. Like maybe they're just dancing to a different dance, or they're doing different like versions of it, and just hoping that it reaches an audience. Yeah. Like, I just personally am like, I wouldn't want to read that book.
I think if you're creating something, music, you're selling bookmarks, you're whatever it is, including being an author, there's a reason like we have to care about you now. Yes. Like, I want to know why, like, what this author does besides write. Yeah. Or what does their desk look like? And what inspired them, and what how do they write, like, what's their process? I need to actually care about you. So when you come up in here and you put a trending sound and you put text over yourself saying, I'm an author and I just did this, and you, like, I don't even know you, it's about 2 seconds of my retention watch that I'm swiping. Yep. And it sucks, and I don't want to do that, you guys. And it's like, because Sophia and I like want to be like engaging with your content, and it's hard.
We've even had some people DM us being like, oh, I'm writing a book, or and I'm like, I love that. Like, if your book is ready for an ARC reader, like, send it our way. Like, that'd be great. But and so I think that there's just I think there's a way to promote, again, whether it's music, or like, I've seen some people do really cringy stuff with merch that they're making. Ooh. And like, they'll just use like certain trends, or they'll do kind of, again, like, where it's like, I spent so much time making this merch and you should get it because of this and this, and I'm just like, but I don't want to get it now, because it doesn't feel like you really connected with me as a viewer. So it's, again, like, that might be controversial, but I just feel like there's ways to, going back to the specific author thing, like, make a personal connection. Yes. And I think something that you've done really well, and I love watching your videos, is like, you made a couple, like, but you also keep it different. You do book videos, book author videos. Like, you kind of, but when you do your more author specific ones, it's just chill vibes. Yeah. You're not looking at the camera and being like, so I'm writing a book and it's going to be like this trope and this trope and this trope and this trope. And, and you're also not doing like TikTok dances with text that's like, I'm writing a book that's about this and this and this and this. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm going to
Sophia, away. You guys, Sophia does not like when you tell her what tropes are in your book.
No, I want to go into it pretty blind. Like, I would love, you can give me a general idea. Yeah. But I don't know. So I don't know. Like, I just feel like that's a ick that's like book creation related. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry if that's
the authors that I have found on TikTok who are indie authors, like, I like them because their content is so good, and I feel like they're my friend. Yeah. And I think that's just like showing up as yourself, and that's very hard to do. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's, guys, it's so funny because I was asking Sophia, I was like, hey, I want to like start talking about my book, but I don't want to be weird about it, because it is weird. It's weird to do self-promotion just in a lot of different ways. Doesn't matter if it's writing or music or whatever. Yeah. And she was like, don't do this. Don't tell me about your tropes. Don't do. And so lately, I will just kind of throw it in. So I'd be like, I left my 9 to 5 and I love books and I'm writing a book. And that's as much as I'll say. Very natural. I don't know, like, because I say it sometimes in the middle of my videos. I didn't think people are watching that far. And so then I'll get a comment saying, what are you writing?
There you
and I'm
go.
like, oh. And then I say, oh, YA fantasy. They're like, can you tell us more about it? I was like, not yet.
Right.
Yeah.
I love
It's
that.
not weird.
I think that that's great.
Don't be weird is what we're saying.
Just, and like, again, like I understand that there are, you know, everybody creates content differently. Everybody has something they're comfortable with.
Sure.
But I just like, I think if you want me as a viewer to get invested into your book, be natural, do like, you know, just chill stuff. Like I can't with like the, if you like this book and this book and this book, or if you like this trope and this trope and this trope, I'm like, so are you just, you know, I don't know.
I think when people do that, they assume that their audience is not as smart. You know what I'm saying? Versus like, hey, I would really love for you to read my book. It's a YA fantasy about this and that. See you later.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, cool. And then if they are actually interested, they're going to Google it or they'll like message you. You know what I mean? So like, I think when we get icks, it's because I feel like they like give us too much information. Like we're stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't like, we're smarter than you give us credit for as a viewer. Like I know we might just be a number that swipes past, but like, if you want me to get involved, like
exactly,
don't dumb me down. You know? I will say I have a little bit of a Kindle ick, and I want to know what your thought is because this is something we can change. So I want to know what you choose to do with. How do you feel about your Kindle telling you how far you are into the book? Whether that's how many minutes you have left in a chapter, what percentage you're on, like what is your, first of all, what do you have set? Do you do time or do you do percentage? / do you even like it at all? Because like I recently went for a little while with I turned it off. So I just wouldn't know at all. And it was kind of interesting. I just recently turned back on my percentage because I kind of missed it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I did it for a while with no information. I thought it was kind of interesting.
That's kind of cool.
I don't know.
You're a fast reader. I was going to ask how your reading speed was.
Yeah. I mean, overall, pretty fast in general. So, like,
Well, okay. So, I did it too.
Okay.
I recently turned off the percentage in the minutes. So, if you guys don't have a Kindle, you can see on the left corner how many minutes, because they'll start calculating your reading speed.
Yeah, which is cool.
So it says like you have 7 minutes in this chapter and you're 25% done with the book. If you tap it again, it'll show you like a location number. If you tap it again, it'll show you what page you're on, like like the actual physical, and then you tap it again and there's nothing. So it's just whatever you're reading. So I always had the time on with a percentage recently because I've been doing Kindle and a physical. So like I'll have the Kindle version as well as the physical version. Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what page I'm on. Yeah. Because I want to read the physical. So I only put on the page number. And I was actually like less stressed reading. Because I felt like stressed because I wanted to get past a certain part.
Yeah. I think that I might turn back off the percentage. Like I just recently turned it back on, but I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want it there. Like, I don't know if I do.
Why?
I mean, it's also kind of that like rush to feel like, oh, like, wait, it's either, oh, I'm sad I'm only this far in, or, oh, I'm already, like, I just don't know if I want to know. I mean, obviously when you're holding the physical book, you see how far in you are to the book. Right. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where I feel like it's kind of a personal preference. But
yeah. I mean, possibly at night, if I'm tired, I will click to how many more minutes left I have in the chapter.
That's true.
But recently I'm like, all right, let's just.
What font do you read at? Like what font size? I'm just curious. I don't think we've ever talked about this.
I think I'm at a 9.
Okay.
So it's like.
Wait, can you show me? Because I don't know. Girl, that's huge.
No, it's not.
I read at a 3. Can I change it to a 3? If it'll let me.
Boba.
Oh, I didn't mean to turn your page. I read at a 3. You're at a 3? Or a 2. Sometimes I'm a 2.
Oh, I'm at a 6.
Oh, okay. Move it down to a... Let me see, because if that's 3...
Hello?
That looks a little big. Maybe I do 2. I think... Okay, because the other thing with this is then whether you're reading... like that looks about right. So I guess I'm reading at what, a 2?
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit more like a full page. And I think for me, that makes me feel like I've read more.
I feel that.
I think that makes me feel like I've read more of the book when I have like it takes me a little bit longer. And also because I get lazy with
I can see why you think that's
I get lazy with the tapping. Like I get really lazy. So I think I honestly want more words. So then I tap less.
Oh, I feel like I'm reading fast when I tap more.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I'm turning a page.
But like sometimes I'm laying in bed and I just don't want to like tap that much.
Okay, then we need to get you the Kindle remote.
You want the little clicker?
Yeah, we need to get you the remote.
Also, I started trying to implement this in January, which is once I'm done with my phone for the night, like I'm in bed, you know, I finish up on my phone, finish the social media stuff, whatever, answer any texts, and then put my phone away. And then if I'm still awake, I will then pull out my Kindle and read some, but I will not go back on my phone when I'm done with my Kindle. So, like, I will just try to read until I fall asleep.
Oh, okay. I get that.
I did it in January. I think maybe only 3 times that I put my Kindle away and want to pick back up my phone. So, I'll say Kindles are... I basically have tried to implement that as a habit, and it's been really
less screen time.
Yeah.
I like that.
Anyways.
We love you guys.
Well,
we'll see you next week.
We're
wrapping up
listening.
season 2 very soon.
Ooh.
So let's go.
Fun times.
Woohoo.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.